First, let me thank the leadership of the African Finance Development Bank for this laudable initiative, which is targeted at expanding and catalyzing the agro value chain and ecosystem, not just in my state, but in Nigeria in general. My state, Ogun State, is privileged to be one of the states that has been chosen to be the first partakers in the Special Agro-Processing Zone project that will be financed partly by Afdb and a few other partners. Now, what we've done in Ogun State, which was part of our business case, was to ensure that the location of the SAPZ was such that it was located, or it is located in a place that already has the required infrastructure to complement it. So sometime last year, we began the construction of our International Agro-Cargo Airport. And we have co-located the Special Agro-Processing Zone in that airport. So that airport we now refer to as an metropolis because it is sitting on 10,000 hectares of land. And basically, what is an SAPZ? An SAPZ is a location where agro-processing companies are located that will focus on processing a particular agricultural produce to finished products for export. Now, SAPZs are not novel. They have been successfully tried and proven in various countries, particularly in China and in other parts of Africa, particularly Gabon, Togo, Ethiopia. So they are not new. And what do? What they do is that they would take a product that hitherto is being sold at its raw material form for next to nothing. At times even being exported as a raw material. Take that product to a finished form. In the process, it makes for employment opportunities. In the process, value is added. So you find at times a product that starts at maybe say $100 per kilo or so, and an export becomes like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. Now, what does an SAPZ require to succeed? It must have the assurance of enough raw materials. Because these agro-processing zones, agro-processing companies, if they do not have enough raw materials, then they will not be successful. So as a state, our competitive and comparative advantage is the fact that we are the nearest state to Lagos State. We're the only neighbor that they have. So we're the closest to the seaport, we're the closest to the airport. Today, we are the number one industrial state in Nigeria. We have more processing companies in my state than in some states combined. So I already have that as an advantage. I also have as an advantage the fact that geographically, you cannot go from Lagos, the number one economy in Nigeria, to other part of the country without going through my state. So I'm conveniently located for processing and distribution in terms of logistics. Now, my agro-processing zone location is also located on one side, bound by the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. That's the busiest highway in Nigeria. It's about a kilometer from that road. Shagamu-Benin Expressway, which is like the second or third busiest route in Nigeria that takes goods and services from the south to the southeast and south part of Nigeria. So you have a processing zone that has access. There's also a gateway to the rest of the country. That's also in an airport, international airport, cargo-based airport. So basically you have all the infrastructural requirements to make it successful. Now, coupled with that, I'm a state that has a land size of about 16,000 square kilometers, out of which 80% of that is arable. We are typically known as an agronomy. We are a state that has the largest number of forest reserves. We have like 11,000 hectares of palm oil production. We produce rubber, produce cashew, produce cocoa. We're the number one producer of cassava in Nigeria. We're the number one producer of poultry and eggs in Nigeria. So we are already positioned. What is this SAPZ going to do for us? It's going to allow us to aggregate all this agro produce that's being produced all over the whole place, streamline them for processing companies that are now located in a particular zone to efficiently, effectively produce, add value, process for export. This will, first of all, increase employment. Statistically, agriculture is the fastest and cheapest way to reduce unemployment. Mr. President was making an example of his visit to Dangote refinery where $16 billion is being invested in a refinery of 650,000 barrels per day and has about 38,000 employees, $16 billion. In my state, I've only been governor for 30 months. I have partnered with the Central Bank of Nigeria in an outgrower scheme called the Anchor Borrower Scheme that's allowed me to offer agripreneurs a parcel of land, partner with off-takers we call anchors, clear the land for them. They've signed off-take agreement with these agripreneurs, and it's been a success story. I've done 35,000 people in 30 months. It hasn't cost me $1 billion. So naturally, this SAPZ is going to allow us to reduce unemployment drastically, to increase productivity. Productivity meaning that hitherto you have people producing cassava, say, at X, dollar per ton. Now, with new techniques, with inputs, with partnerships from processors, they now produce cassava that will be bought at a premium and turned into ethanol, for example, sucrose, for example, as against just selling cassava powder or starch powder. So the advantages, and when you have increase in employment, you see a consequent decrease in insecurity. So issues of banditry and, all this that we see in terms of insecurity will definitely go down. So you have benefits of, productivity, benefits of food security. Mr. President in Nigeria has been the advocate for what he calls grow what you eat what you go, philosophy. So you have food security, you have, productivity, you have, employment, you have insecurity. And so for me, it can only translate to the economic prosperity of my state and individual prosperity of my people.